Hi, so you are now in lesson 17. Last week, lesson 16, and lesson 17 this week marks about the halfway point of our Latin learning for Latina Christiana. And you may have felt it getting a little more challenging. They have added a new declension now. So now you know the first declension for nouns, and now you know the second declension. And they have different endings. So it can get a little bit tricky. So that's why I wanted to just go over some quick talking points and make sure we're establishing really good habits in our Latin lessons. So first and foremost, before you even pick up a pen, get out your Latin flashcards. And so when we begin a Latin lesson, I want you to spend the first 5 or 10 minutes in review. If you haven't been doing this, then you may need to work maybe more like 10 minutes when you do your Latin lessons, which are not every day, but when you do them on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll want to start with review. So how I have my daughter do it is she has her whole stack of what we've learned so far. And you'll have 3 piles, words you know front and back. Like you could see aqua and know it's water, and I could show you water and you could say aqua, you know, front to back, no problem. That one goes in the know very well pile. Then you have a sort of know very well, like know okay. Like you could do the front side, but not the back side too, if I were to reverse the card around and show you and ask you one way or the other. You know only one side. That's in your sort of well. And then there's cards that you didn't know either way. You just don't know them. That goes in your don't know pile. So the don't knows, I want you to work on every day that you start Latin. And of course, when you learn new words, those will go in your don't know because they haven't yet been gone through. So the sort ofs, you should work those in once a week. So pick a day, maybe it's Wednesdays. Your goal is to get the sort ofs into the know very well. And then the know very well pile, I would say you probably could hit those once a month. Now, if you find you're forgetting them once a month, maybe it needs to be more like every other week. So you need to use your own discretion on that one. But let me tell you, memorization, flashcard memorization, and memorizing your forms like the declensions and the conjugations is really the easiest part of Latin, but it's the thing that most students neglect, and it's the thing that will make Latin become very hard. So Latin is easy if you memorize your vocabulary and you memorize your forms. What becomes hard is if you don't know your Latin vocabulary and then you get to a translation piece such as this week. It says gladius superat, and you're looking at superat, and it just looks like this super confusing word, and you don't know where it came from, and you're having to flip to the back of your book and look in the dictionary. No. It needs to be old hat to you. You should know both of those words. So easy. So Latin will become difficult if you don't know your cards well. So just go through them and figure that out. Now, when you're doing your Latin flashcards, I want very much for you to say them this way. If I'm looking at this week's lesson 17, I want you to say animus, animi, aquila, aquilae, corona, coronae. I want you to say both the nominative singular and the genitive singular. And here's why. In this Latin list in 17, you have some first declension nouns and you have some second declension nouns. So when you are learning what declensions are in, they're really different right now. I mean, a, versus us, e, o. They're super different right now. So it seems like that's easy to tell them apart. The uses are the masculine and the ahs are the feminine. It's very different. It's going to come, there's 5 declensions in Latin, so it's going to come where sometimes the nominative singular, whether it's a or us or something else, they could be the same, but be in different declensions. I'll say that again. The nominative singular could be the same as another declension. They all of a sudden don't look quite so different anymore. But the telling one will be the genitive singular. And that, my friend, is why your Latin flashcards will say, such as animus, and it will have a little I. You'll see that in the dictionary too. Now look at aquila. Aquila -ae. That is because they want you to memorize that genitive singular. Because if you link those two together in your mind, aquila, aquilae, animus, animi, you link those two together, then if you ever see it declined in a different way, such as let's look at gladii superant. You can go back to your memory bank and say gladius, gladii. Okay, gladii, that comes from gladius because I remembered them together, and gladii is from the second declension. So you've got to memorize both of them when you do your flashcards, okay? All right, that should give you some good study habits moving forward.